Here's the question: how common is bad management? Okay, he's this recruiter says I went internal for a while. It was an agency recruiter. She went internal, and her boss had her check out multiple companies for an applicant tracking system. After 4 months, that person who put her on the project told her it wasn't important. They can do it later, right? He was also asking her to check out tools like LinkedIn Recruiter, and he knew for months in advance that the deadline on price increases was coming, but he decided to agree to it the day after the price increase came, and then he couldn't understand why they wouldn't give him the original price. This is like an idiot she's working for. How common is that? I mean, we keep hearing that people hate their managers. That's why they leave companies. And this is actually in a recruiting department in a corporation. How common is bad management?
I always think that salesmen, #1 sales guy for a company is a horrible manager, and they get made managers because they're the #1 guy. And they're the worst people usually to be sales managers because they're so competitive. They don't want to share their secrets. They don't want anybody beating their records. They want to be #1. Right. So you don't take a guy like that and make him a manager. And you find that in managers a lot of times, the guy got promoted because he was the #1 sales guy. He's a horrible manager. And there's also that area where you reach a level you can't go any further. And they push people into those roles because they need managers or they can't find help. And so
internally, we do a lot of manager training. It's for the same reason, because people promote into those roles, you know, and they may or may not have the background or the education or the experience. So we do a lot of training internally for new managers and continue. So we see a ton of bad managers. It's why I'm able to get a lot of people to come over, because our company does have a great culture. And
tell us, how do you know what those people are bad managers at your candidates' companies, and how
from what they say?
What traits? Okay, I want to hear what they say.
Our company is very collaborative and very much about teams and teamwork, and a lot of the people are coming from places that are more cutthroat, where it's every man for themselves, and people throw you under the bus.
Throw you under the bus. What does that mean?
It can mean a lot of things. It can mean taking credit for an idea that wasn't theirs. It can mean just overusing somebody, not respecting their time, and then not giving them the credit for it.
It could be the opposite too. Like,
yes,
the reason it failed is because Donna's not good at her job, right? So it threw you under the bus. You know, you had a program to put together to sell to car dealerships, and it failed. And instead of me taking responsibility because I put it together, it was Donna's fault.
Oh,
she couldn't get as good people.
Okay,
you know,
take credit, or you blame someone if it goes.
That's throwing people under the bus.
Okay, but Donna, do you get this information out from your candidates, because they are always warned, don't badmouth your current employer or your past employers? Okay,
they don't usually lead with it, but it's part of our job, isn't it? Like, to pull out the pain points and
how do you get that? Okay, this is something I didn't plan on asking, but now that you're telling us that people are confessing to you, okay, how do you get them to do that?
Well, obviously it's listening and asking questions, but if they haven't offered anything up front about what they're unhappy with, then as I start telling them about what we're like and what our culture is and what it's like to work here, you can hear the things that they're getting interested in. You're like, oh, that's when you hear that something's piqued their interest, there's a reason for it. So it's probably something that they're missing. So then you can ask another question like, oh, so you're really team oriented. Is that how it is where you are now? Like, do you feel like you're really part of the team? You know, you just pick at it based on what you're hearing back, and they'll talk to you.
Okay,
they'll open up.
Anybody else? You know, I don't. Where does Rich get his clear ideas that so many managers are bad? Do people tell him?
Do people tell me? Yeah, candidates tell me. I talk to them myself. I mean, they're pretty easy to see. I mean, you know, the biggest thing too. As you know, I find, at least for me, how a client treats me, it's exactly how they're going to treat the candidate. You know, once they're working for them, they treat me like crap, they're going to treat the candidate like crap. If I have a crap experience, they're going to have a bad experience.
Okay, but if the managers are generally so weak, that means the people we're recruiting for are also, we can almost guarantee that they're lousy as well. Although Donna's internal at a company she thinks respects, right?
Yeah.
But then, Rich, the people you're working for, they're lousy, right? And you warned.
It's not making general statement that they all suck. I mean,
well, you've told us stories, and you say, "Look, I warned the candidates. I warned the candidates."
Whoa, slow down. Listen, not everyone's sucking. not everyone sucks. I mean, there's plenty of good clients, which is why we've made plenty of good placements. But there are plenty of clients that don't become that quickly are no longer clients because they're a waste of time.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Renee, that's one of Rich's primary. Walk away from dope. Sorry, Tom, were you saying something? And I
was agreeing. Walk away. Yeah.
Okay. So bad management is common. And I like what Donna said. She said, when you just like doing a reference check, when they hesitate or they ask a question about something specific, you use that to pick it like a thread because it's the revealer. You don't have to ask them directly what's wrong with your
No.
Well, Ernie does. Why are you talking?